Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Joe on this cold Wednesday evening here in the DC area. We had some terrible weather the last few days. I know that other places have had it. So, obviously, with the cold weather, comes with it some surprises, let's just put it that way, in terms of rental properties. I'm not immune to that. Had some burst pipes last week, and and so on. But it's okay. It's all good. So we're able to get through them, and got it fixed. It's just a testament to having a great team. If you have a great team of repairmen, handyman, whatever you want to call it, it just makes a huge difference in terms of your sanity. So I was really pleased that we were able to work through them all. In fact, we even had a sewage backup at one of the properties, and got that taken care of. So you never know what to expect when you're a landlord. But if you have the right team, the right people, systems, I have home warranty on all my properties, so really it wasn't such a big deal. So we got it taken care of. Anyway, as we close out the year, I wanted to have today's session. Everyone's kind of talking about, well, thinking about anyway, New Year's resolutions. So I wanted to kind of talk about New Year's resolutions and for investors, real estate investors like you and I, and some of the things that you can do, we can do, I can do, and that you may want to consider. Most of the recommendations I'm going to share today, they don't cost anything. That's the reason why I called today's session $0 New Year's resolutions for investors. $0. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. But the important thing is that you're heading towards whatever your goals you decide for 2023 and so on. As I said, this is a two-part series. Next week I'll go into more specific ones, and but this is sort of the high level, and for resolutions for real estate investors, that's the focus is going to be. So anyway, essentially it's a new year almost, and which means it's a perfect time to set goals and hopefully anyway attainable resolutions, goals which are both personal and professional. Many people, the drill. Many people give kind of generic goals like I want to eat healthier, I want to exercise more, I want to decrease screen time, and unfortunately, most of those resolutions they're kind of vague and it doesn't really mean anything. Most of them are pretty much broken after a few days or a few weeks, and so really, it was just a waste of time going through that whole motions. But when it comes to professional resolutions, I think it's really important that you and I set new tangible goals that will hopefully, lead us to towards our ultimate goal, which is financial independence and success. So, if you love 2023 to be a great year, hopefully the most successful year you've ever had in real estate investing, we're going to address, some of the impacts that you can make in 5 areas, and that's what I'm going to discuss. And so the areas I'm talking about include things like education, educate yourself, network and seek advice from others, befriend bankers and money people, round out and keep building your investment team, and also reset your goals to boost your personal returns. That's what the 5 categories we're going to talk about today. And so let's get to it, and so on. So again, as usual, towards the end, we're going to have the Q&A session. So line up your questions, and I still have visitors here. We've got another set of visitors coming over tomorrow, in fact, for a few days for the new year. So I know that I'm here, they're up there, so I need to get back to them. So we'll see how far we go today, and so on. So let's get down to it. First one is educate yourself. Let's make a resolution to learn more about the trade that we have, whatever niche you're doing in terms of real estate investing, just to become better educated. If you're a new investor, beginning investor, just become better educated, and because it's going to be really important in terms of the decisions that you're going to make. Really successful real estate investors never stop learning. I mean, I'm always learning. I'm always, seeking knowledge, meeting new people, networking. I'm always trying to learn more about, real estate investing. I mean, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I'm still learning. So if you haven't done that, it's okay. You just have to keep on learning because things change. We're going through a market shift right now. And fortunately, I've been through 4 of these market shifts. So I have a pretty good idea how this is going to shake out. And, there's going to be some opportunities, a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately, for those people who are unprepared or have the wrong strategy, it could be a major problems. So it's important to learn because, as I said before, successful real estate investors never really stop learning. So take time to learn the best strategy that works for you, given where you are financially in terms of risk tolerance, in terms of your personality. Really research the real estate market that you're in. You may be local in the DMV, Washington, D.C. area, or you could be national, or you could be international. Just take the time to learn about the market there. Be familiar with the trends that are taking place in your area, and stay in tune or stay in key. How do I put this? It's okay to get training. Listen to podcasts, read books, attend seminars, and obviously we're kind of going to the winter months, so COVID is kind of, springing up. But, attend seminars, get out. If possible, also find yourself a mentor, someone who's successfully doing what it is that you want to do, and hopefully incentivize them to help you. And therefore, you can avoid what I call making unnecessary mistakes. Obviously, I have a JV program. I'm creating a new program I'm going to call it the JV Wealth Building Program. What JV Wealth Builders Program. I'll share more about that with you. Once it's all together. I'm really, really excited about that one. And but yeah, I mean, there's going to be some great opportunities coming down. Educate yourself, and there's a lot of good people out there who are willing to share their experience and their expertise with you. There are a lot of great resources, as I said before, for beginners, real estate investors, and a lot of them are free. When I first started, there wasn't a whole lot of resources, but today there's a lot, especially on the internet. And but take advantage of many of the sites, internet sites that's available for free. There are newsletters, there are webinars, there are videos, there are blogs that you can sort of subscribe to and just learn. And for newbies, if you're a newbie, you're just starting out, step one is determine the business model that makes most sense to you. As I mentioned before, it depends on your cash situation, your risk tolerance level, your comfort zone, and responsibilities, and financial capabilities. But there are different strategies. The big ones, obviously, if you're focused on cash now, wholesaling, and that's a good strategy for that. Cash later, that could be sort of the fix and flip model, where you get chunks of cash, and obviously you have cash flow, which is more of the buy and hold, which is what I do. Now, when we're going through a market cycle downturn, my only words of wisdom, having gone through this several times, is just be careful of some of these short-term strategies. There will be some opportunities for the short term, but the market is in such a flux. I think the National Association of Realtors just came out with a report today. Significant reduction in terms of sales. Some areas, the prices are going down. And so if you're focused on short-term strategy, you may buy something or put something in a contract with the expectation that you can offload it to somebody else in a few weeks. But the market shifted on you. So what you thought would be a good deal, now it's not a great deal. And so you may be stuck holding the bag, as they say. So be careful about some of these short-term strategies. But anyway, read books, Google information, list pros and cons of different investment types, whether it be the wholesale and fix and flip, buy and hold model. There are pros and cons, short-term rentals. Take free webinars and classes on YouTube if you can attend them. Get to know your specific market. Consume as much knowledge as you can every day so that you can identify the niche that you're going to focus on. whether it be in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Okay, so if you're a newbie, these are some of the things I would recommend that you take place right now as we approach the new year. If you're more of an intermediate type investment, you may have done 1 or 2 deals. The focus should be on growing your business, and so sort of find out more about the niche that you want to focus on. How will the market shift in that niche? What's the impact of higher interest rates that's going on? We don't really know when the Fed's going to stop this, but the goal obviously is to reduce inflation, and the best way to, or at least one of the ways to reduce inflation, is to increase interest rates. The problem is that at some point we may end up in a recession, and when the recession hits, oh boy, that's a whole nother set of issues. And but the bottom line, though, is that as the market slows down, there will be some good opportunities for to acquire, to buy, especially if you take a long-term view. I made an offer, we made an offer on a house. I think it was today in Washington D.C. We're gonna, we made a $150,000 below list. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, I mean, houses are not moving, especially houses that need work. So this is a good time if you have your financial house in order, if you have your systems in place, to get some good deals, as long as you can ride out the storm for the long term. And that's really the gist of the JV Wealth Builders program I'm going to maybe share with you in the future. But find out Facebook groups, bloggers, experienced investors, reach out to them, experts who are knowledgeable in your field of study or your niche. Talk to other investors, and possibly identify a mentor that can provide you with some guidance. That's if you're an intermediate investor. If you're more of an advanced investor, you've done several deals, maybe 4, 5 plus more deals. You've been around for a little while. I will say, the biggest thing that includes me is just never stop learning. Listen to podcasts. I was listening to there's a really interesting podcast I was listening to yesterday. I forgot the name of it, but they had some really good stuff. Bigger Pockets podcast is pretty good. There's just a lot of podcasts out there, and sharing some really good information. So turn the TV off, listen to some podcasts while you're driving, or when you got a free downtime. You can always learn something. Read articles from by thought leaders, and start or even join a mastermind group, so you can be around like-minded people, and that may help you streamline your business and even pivot altogether into something new. But also the other thing, if you're more of an advanced investor, is sort of focus on the back-end systems. Your team, your bookkeeper, property management. In fact, I sent an email just before this podcast live stream, sorry, to my bookkeeper, and trying to ensure that we try and get the close out the 2022 a little bit earlier, so we can file the taxes a little earlier as well. I normally wait until the last minute to file my taxes, usually around October the 15th. So I'm going to try and maybe do a little bit earlier, send it over to the CPA so she can work on it. And who knows, I may be able to file my taxes before October the 15th. But yeah, network with your team, develop that. And you also want to be, if you're in advance, be familiar with the trends, the stats, best practices. The kind of information you want to gather is all type of information to evaluate your business, and also what strategies you can implement in the first quarter, second quarter of 2023. That will help you increase revenue, optimize sort of tax benefits, decrease tenant turnover, and enhance efficiency. These are all, I put all this stuff into my goals for 2023. And maybe I'll share some of it next week with you. But yeah, it's important to set a roadmap, and hold yourself accountable. So where do you start? Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or where you are advanced, you can obviously follow me on Instagram. And I haven't done a whole lot of Instagram posting for the last few weeks. Maybe I'll get back to that during this, first part of next year. I just focus on other things. And let's network. I intend to do more posts and sign up for Legacy Investment Network. Again, I'd like to do some more communication with my group. I've been kind of keeping a low profile for the last couple of months, and just really taking care of business, doing other things, and but hopefully starting next year I'll be back out of a hibernation mode. I will be going to Ghana though in I think around middle of February. So I'll probably be there for 2 or 3 weeks in Ghana. I intend to do 4. I thought it was 3. Maybe I'll try 4 overseas trips in 2023. Each one will be at least 2 weeks, preferably 3 or 4 weeks. That's where my interests are now. Is more just sort of enjoying the fruits of our labor, as they say. Anyway, let's keep going. So when you start, you can obviously network with me, consume blogs, articles, podcast, video on Bigger Pockets and other platforms. Watch my live streams. Obviously, I would like for that's one of my goals next year is to sort of start doing more on the live streams, increase viewership, and connecting with you. I want you to use, if you can, this platform, this opportunity to ask questions of me. I'll be more than happy to try to use this platform to help you and help others because the pie is big enough and we can all help each other. So if there's something I can help you, feel free to join this live stream and post your questions, and I'll give you as much a solid answer as I can. And connect with me live. I think I've been invited to be a speaker at a local RIA. I think the first week in February here in Washington, D.C. area. So I'll give you more information about that once it gets firmed up. So so connect with me locally live. I may do a couple of events as well. Just to connect with everybody in real time beyond just the live stream. So that's number 1 is educate yourself. And number 2, low cost, resolution that you can make is to network and seek advice, possibly join a RIA, it's a Real Estate Investment Association, and not just join, but participate. Okay. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by network and seek advice and join a RIA and participate? Well, networking really is the lifeblood of any business, especially real estate. You can't do this by yourself. As the saying goes, no man is an island or no woman is an island. Winning in real estate is just as much about who you know as what you know. So if you don't know anybody, it's going to severely limit your ability to grow. I invest a lot of time in relationships at all different levels, whether it be relationships with my financial partners, whether it be banks, hard money lenders, private money lenders, my contractors, my tenants. I've just realized that my success is directly linked to the relationships that I have, and always trying to create win-win relationships. For example, as I said to you, we had some pretty nasty weather last week, and several of my properties, as I say, we had a burst water pipe in 3 of the houses, and we also had a sewage backup at one of the properties. But we're able to get through it based on the strength of my relationship with my tenants. They stuck with me, they understood, and we worked together. Relationship with the contractors, they're able to put me on priority and get my problems and my issues fixed quickly. And relationships with my third-party vendors, whether it be the home warranty company. So a lot of this stuff was covered. And so although it could have been very, very traumatic, it really wasn't that bad after, in the scheme of things. So, so as a new investor, it's really important that you make a resolution to grow your network. And, it's possible. It's not impossible to grow. Well, it is impossible if you decide not to grow. Networking is vital in the real estate business. It really is, because it's a people-focused business. And so you're going to have to, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to leave your comfort zone and and acquire real skills from other people. You're just gonna, because you don't know it all. I don't know it all. You don't know it all. We don't know it all. There are other people that we're going to need to sort of work with to grow our skill sets. So there's always just so much you can learn from interacting with other people. Yeah, maybe I'll do, you know, as I said, I'll try and do some events where we can, people can come together to network and just sort of talk shop, and you know, and things like that. I'll try and do that in 2023. I kind of haven't done that for a while, and that sort of. So if you think that would be good, just, you know, give me a shout out or let me know in the comments if you think it's a good idea, and maybe I'll try and host some of those things in 2023. And but you're gonna have to up your game, teaming up with people that have skills that you don't have, or skills that complement yourself. The more people that you can connect with, the higher the odds of doing better. You know, as a beginner real estate investor, your goal should be to, you know, this week, next week, or whatever, this month, I'm going to meet X number of people. I'm going to pass out X number of business cards, and you know, and so on. I mean, I went to my neighbor. I think, yeah, the people across the street, they had a housewarming gift because they just knew neighbors, and a housewarming party. Sorry. So they invited me over, and I went there, and who knows? Lo and behold, I met with another person there that was a real estate investor, and so hopefully we'll do some stuff together, and so on. So anyway, in terms of Real Estate Investor Association, there's quite a few of them out here. You know, there's still a lot of them are still virtual, but some of them are meeting in person. But it's a great place to meet like-minded people, and people who understand what you're trying to do. There are people there who are very experienced, people who are starting out, and there are people intermediate. So it's just a great place to network with people who understand what you're trying to do, because they're also fellow real estate investors. And but just don't just attend, but try and get involved. See if you can assist, if you can provide some assistance to the leader who's organizing the group. I'm sure they could always do some help. So, but the good thing is that if you, you know, are able to help or participate, then you'll meet other people as well, and you could become the go-to person within that real estate investment association. So, as I said, most of them are online, but some of them are now, I think, trying to do more local, in person. So, find them, attend the meetings regularly, and connect. Where do you start? Go to you can do meetup.com, www.meetup.com. You can visit Bigger Pockets and search for local REIAs. That's REIA, Real Estate Investment Associations. Introduce yourself to the organizers and members, find out their priorities and how you can help. Follow them on social media and comment on their posts, stay active in their groups, and network and talk to a lot of like-minded people. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a real opportunity to especially to find deals. The more people that you know, and the people that know you and understand what you're trying to do, the better it's going to be for yourself. Okay, so networking and seek advice, join a REIA is definitely number 2. Number 3 resolution that you could do is befriend bankers, the money people. The money people come at different levels. Obviously, you got banks, you got hard money, you got private money, you've got friends, family. There are people out there who have money, and you know, you can never have enough money, especially if you're trying to grow your real estate business. So one of my priorities is to sort of seed and nurture relationships with financial institutions. In fact, I was on the phone today with you know, with a financial with a VP of a bank, and we're kind of talking about opportunities, and hopefully we'll do some stuff with them. If you want to stand out with bankers, you want to network with them, go local. I'm a real proponent of local banks and local institutions as opposed to the national big box banks. Local ones, you can develop relationships. They can get to know you. You can get to know them. You can find out what their requirements are. They can, you know, you can share with them your goal, your opportunities, you know, your business. You maybe share with them what I call the credibility kit, and you know, so you can sort of you can do that with smaller banks. It's more difficult with the larger banks, because the larger banks, most of those decisions are not made at the local level. They just plug numbers into a computer, but the actual decisions are made elsewhere. So another tip would be to develop a credibility kit before you meet with a bank. I think on my website we do have a sample credibility kit that you can purchase. You know, it's really good to have one. It tells your story, tells them who you are, what you're trying to do, in a visual and sort of, I think, very impressive form. So where do you start? Again, Google to create to find a list of local banks in your area. You can learn about them through LinkedIn and other social media platforms. Make an appointment with a local branch and sit down with a lender to discuss your goals, their goals, and how you can be of assistance to them. Understand how you can foster relationships with banks. One of the things I know is that banks, they like, especially local banks, they love what they call deposit relationships. If you indicate that you're going to put money in their bank, you're going to set up an account and put money in deposits. That's usually will give you a lot of brownie points, as they say. So they do like that, but understand what it is that the products that they have, the services that they offer, and and how you can grow your relationship with the institution. So that's number three. Befriend Bankers. Got a couple more. So again, enter. We're going to go to the chat box Q&A session very shortly. So if you got questions, please put them in the chat box. I'm going to get to them. The more questions, the merrier. Otherwise, I'm going to cut today short because I got some guests waiting for me. So put your questions in there. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible today. Okay, so let's go to number 4, which is to round out and keep building your investment team. Round out and keep building your investment team. That's number 4. All of you got to have a team. I talked about relationships earlier on. You can't do this by yourself. You're going to need to surround yourself with a team, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is. In the real world of real estate investing, countless people. There are lots of people who provide specialized services. If you don't have your own team, maybe you can leverage somebody else's. Whether leverage my relationships, other people who are seasoned, you can leverage their relationships because they've already done the hard work, and if you can build off their efforts, then you can get to a lot further than if you try and do it yourself. So there are attorneys. Obviously, you want attorneys that specialize in contract law, real estate law. Property managers, who specialize in whatever niche you're going to be doing, whether it be Section 8, whether it be market renters, and so on. There are property managers or short-term renters. Marketing specialists, what I call deal finders, whether it be wholesalers, real estate agents, real estate brokers, bird dogs. These are whole deal finders. These are part of your team. Bookkeepers, CPAs. I spoke to my CPA bookkeeper today, and appraisers, contractors, handyman. These are all part of your network. One of the good things about today's environment is that much of the real estate investment team, you can establish those relationships virtually, either through Zoom or through emails or social media or whatever. If in doubt, obtain referrals from other investors about your team. But it's important to take the time to develop a team, because you just can't do it yourself. You cannot. It's not practical. Number 5, reset your goals to boost your personal return. So complacency is the reason why most real estate investors, I don't know, I wouldn't call it substandard, but they don't do as well for themselves. Okay, they set their targets too low. They have low expectations. They don't have self-confidence and the belief in themselves. You can do this. It's not easy, I'll tell you that, but it's definitely doable. I wouldn't say if I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm not going to say that, but I'm just saying that if it's not as difficult as a lot of people perceive it to be. That's real estate investing, doing it the right way. You just need to find somebody who's successfully doing it and just model them. Okay. In addition to keeping your New Year's resolutions, it's important that you review your resolutions on a regular basis. You don't want to just do it once and forget about it. It's something that you're going to keep on looking through. I know for me, and I'll talk about that next week, I have sort of lifetime goals, 5-year goals, 1-year goal. And I do every month, I update my goals. And then every week, I do what we call weekly review, where we kind of revisit where we are. I have a lot of great ideas, great plans for 2023. I'm really, really excited about what's going to go on. It's going to be a great year. I may not buy as many houses as because I don't really need to buy more. Maybe 2 or 3. But it's just I'm looking more to systemize my business. Make it more virtual, So that way, whether I'm here in the US or traveling, I still am able to, run my business. So that's one of the goals. I'll share that with you next week. Understand that, cash is king. Set cash goals in terms of, especially if you're in the buy and hold. Maybe you want to increase your cash flow by 10%. If you're making, for example, 10,000 a month now, the goal to make it 11,000. If you're making 1,000 a month, maybe the goal next year will be $1,100 a month. So, I mean, the idea is to set cash flow goals and see if you can, strive to increase them. Also, understand what's going to happen, what's happening in this sort of high interest rate type of environment that we're in. It's going to affect you. It is. It's a new day. I was listening to David Green, I think it was, on Bigger Pockets, on one of his, I think, latest podcasts. Things can go wrong. I mean, I think he was sharing stories that he bought a lot of properties and they're just not materializing. All the plans that he had for, I think he bought like 20 properties or portfolio or something, and they just, it's one problem after another on all of them. So yeah, it's in a high interest rate environment. The market slows, and you can be hit by what we call curveballs. And make sure that you are ready for those things. What I'm going to do is what we call, what's that term? Stress test the portfolio. There's some programs out there where you can what we call stress test, which means that you can play sort of what if scenarios. What if this happens? What if the cash flow reduces? What if you can't find a tenant? What if your maintenance costs go high? I mean, you can sort of see what you're going to need to do, the impact of those scenarios, and therefore you can sort of decide how much, reserves you need to have. For me, we're going to set aside, I'm just decided that, I'm going to set aside a chunk of money, 10% of all my income from rentals is going to be set aside. Because I need to have the reserves, because we're going through some turbulent times, and you don't want to run out of cash, and so on. So I'm just going to discipline myself to if I make $1,000 in rent, I'm setting aside 10%, 100, and it's going to be set aside in a separate account. Waiting for opportunities, waiting for a rainy day, and maybe paying taxes or other things like that. But the impact of higher interest rate is going to be obviously more expensive money. Loans is going to be higher. Your ability to refinance may be a bit more difficult, more challenging, and you may have to look for other sources of financing, whether it be private investors or other institutions. Okay, make sure you conduct a proper rent analysis to determine realistic cash flow that you can get for your property. Grow your contact lists by networking more, increasing social media marketing, and giving back to the community. Make a list of ways where you can automate, digitize your business, scale your business, and then there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So, in summary, before I get down to Q&A, again, if you got some questions, line them up. I'm going to get to you in a second. Summary: ring in the new year on the right track for real estate investors. The ball is going to drop down New York midnight, which is Sunday. Okay. In preparation, take some time to list your own goals. And for 2023, expand your comfort zone by learning new things and stay on top of the latest laws, regulations in the market. More networking if you can. More people. Add more people to your contact list. The more people, the better. You can touch with emails, phone calls, cards, letters, and so forth. And speaking of making more money, create an action list of specific things that you can do in 2023 to increase your profits by 10, 15, 20%. Take some concrete action. No real estate investor is an expert in anything. I'm not an expert at everything. I'm always striving to learn. That's the important thing. Having people around you is going to be great. It gives you a level of flexibility that those people don't have, a support network don't have. So next week, I'll be delving a bit more deeply into the goals, various types of goals. And I may share with you some of my goals for 2023. And so really, this is a two-part series, and this is part one. And hopefully we can discuss part 2 next week. So with that said and done, I'm going to go to Q&A. Again, if you've got questions for me, put them in the chat box, and I'll get to you very shortly. And if you want to shoot me an email, you can always shoot me an email at joe@joeasimo.com, joe@joeasimo.com. So let me go down to the questions and see what we have. Let's have a look. Okay, Marlon the investor. Yes, that's a good idea. I'm not sure what you're saying about good idea. Maybe it is a good idea, whatever I said. So maybe you want to clarify, Marlon, which idea I shared with you that you thought was good. Definitely great. This is from Johnny. Definitely great idea to do that. What ideas did I say, or are you guys referring to? Oh, I'm sorry. You may want to refresh my memory. Okay, let's go to the next one. But yeah, looking forward to connecting with you, Marlon, next week, hopefully. And Johnny, I think your property should be on the market next week, I think, with your new tenant. So congratulations. And on to the next one. So I want to hear stories about your next foray into your next property and so forth. Let's go to the next question. Kenya, Whitney, I tried joining a few during the pandemic, but that was virtually and didn't feel the same. I'll try more again. This, I think she's referring to REIAs, I assume. Yeah, a lot of REIAs went online because of COVID. I personally prefer, physical in-person meetings because, it's just a different connection, and you can develop a different level of relationship with somebody in person as you can virtually. So, but I think they are slowly but surely, resurfacing. In fact, I've been invited to be a speaker in February, first week in February, at one of the local REIAs. So I'll give you the details about that one maybe once it all firms itself out. But that's going to be in February, and I think more and more REIAs are joining, are trying to become more physical as opposed to virtual. You may want to do some research, find out who they are, and find out when they're going to go to physical as opposed to virtual meetings, and so on. Good question, Kenya. Let's have okay, Kenya again. Should new investors aim to build relationships with any banks or credit unions a priority? I think you should develop a relationship with any financial institution. Okay, you go after the money you get. Money's money, and there are different sources of money depending on where you are in your real estate journey and your financial standing. And some people, have great credit. They have all the requirements that a bank is looking for, and therefore they can go to bank financing. Some people don't have that. They may not have the greatest credit. They may not have all the documents in order, so they may have to go to other forms, whether it be hard money or potentially private investors. So there are lots of different types of financial sources of money. Banks are one, and credit unions certainly are another source, and especially if you have a relationship with a credit union. If you already have that relationship, then they know you. You already have a deposit relationship with them, and their rates are usually a bit more, I think, favorable than they are for banks. So if you can get access to credit union financing, certainly take it. Money is money, but if you're going to go after money, you want to go after the cheapest source of money that you can get. I've used hard money a couple of times. It's great because it allowed me to do a deal. But if all things were equal, I would rather go to sources where the cost of money is cheaper. So banks are usually cheaper than hard money. And credit unions, I think, are slightly cheaper than banks. But they usually want full documentation. Okay, they want all the documents. And your ability to qualify is based on you more so than the asset, like they do it in hard money lending. Okay, so I mean, if you can go after credit union, I think it all should be a priority. But you want to go for the sources that is cheaper, because the cost of funds will kind of bleed into your profits. And there are several profit centers when you do a deal. There's the purchase price, That's a profit center. How much you pay will determine how much profit you make. Second is the financing cost. The higher the financing cost, the less profits you're going to make. Third is the renovation cost. The more the renovation cost is going to eat into your profit. And finally, the exit strategy. How much is it going to cost to exit, whether it's to hold or whether it's to like property management or to flip in terms of the sale. It's going to eat into your profits as well. So there's lots of different profit centers. The cheaper you can have for the profit center, the better it is going to be for you. Good question, Kenya. Number 4, Johnny H. Would you recommend having the same contractor on a team or have a couple to rotate on projects? Personally, I just use the same contractors. I've tried lots of different contractors, and contractors will either make or break your business. I'll just be as blunt as that. Life's too short to be stressed out and fighting with contractors. And the cheapest guy is not always the best guy. And I've learned that the hard way. It took me a long time to find the contractors I have. I mean, you're familiar with the contractors I have, Johnny, because I think you use them on your project. They're not the cheapest, but in my experience, they get the job done without a whole lot of drama. And to me, that's worth something. So, but if you want to be safe, you may want to, have another backup contractor, and then you kind of whenever you get a job, bid it out and see who responds the best, and then you go with that. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing wrong with having backups for anything, really. So if you can get yourself a backup for a contractor, by all means, do that. And when you get a new job, you want to give your contractors the opportunity to bid on it, and then you pick the ones that's the best. And as you said, if you want to, you can rotate. So on this job, contractor A gets it. Maybe the next job, contractor B gets it. And whatever works for you. I just know what works for me. And I only use this group, and that's it. I don't even consider anybody else. I've got too many contractor stories. Guys who show up drunk, guys who walk off the job, guys you got to wake up after out of bed, guys who they cursing you out, you got to curse them out, and it's just drama every day. They don't have a car, so you got to take them to Home Depot. You waste half a day, in the store. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I've been there, done that, as you can see. But it's all good. It's all good. And but what works for you is the most important thing. Meetup. Okay, I think that's what you're referring to, having a meetup. Yes, it's a good idea to have a meetup, and it's an opportunity to network with like-minded people and expand your network. So I certainly trying to grow my network. I haven't had too many physical meetings, but I think I'll try and do that in 2023 and so on. Okay, Kenya. Oh wow, Kenya, you're on a roll. Yes, the real estate meetups. Okay, so everyone's talking about real estate meetups. Okay, let's talk about next one is Johnny. Again, if you got some questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to address them. We've got a few more minutes left, and so I'll see how much we can do between now and then. This is from Johnny again. Would you consider getting sewer insurance, or is home warranty sufficient for potential sewer issue? I had a sewage backup this week, as I told you. One of my tenants called me up last week, in fact, and said, we got a problem. The sewage is backing up, and the feces and all that stuff is going into her shower. She's in the basement. And, and so on. So, obviously she was a little upset, but she's one of my good tenants. She likes me. I like her. She's a great person. She loves in the house. She loves the neighborhood. And so I told her that I'll see what I can do. I called the home warranty company. They sent the plumber out there, and it was covered. So they snaked the line, and that was okay. And then a couple of days later, she called me back and said, oh no, it's backing up again. So this time around, I knew that there's a way whereby the city, the DC water company, can actually pay for some of this stuff. So so I kind of got them involved, and they brought their own crew out, snake the line, and they said we're going to replace, we're going to put a clean out in the yard. And I said, okay, great. How much is it going to cost? He says nothing. And we're going to, and more than that, we're going to put you as level 5 priority. So a couple of days ago, I was shocked. At 7 o'clock, I get a call from my tenant. She said that the people are outside digging up the yard. They got about 10 people there, dump trucks and backhoes, the whole 9 yards. And DC Water replaced the part of the line for free. It didn't cost me a dime. So kudos to DC Water. I get a little shout out for those guys. But there's a way whereby some of these things can be done. Yeah, the problem appears to be solved now, and so on. So yeah, so I don't know about sewer backup insurance. I don't know about that, but I do know that my home warranty was able to cover, apart from the service fee. I mean, they would be. I mean, to snake a line out, it's probably a good $500, $600, $700. It only cost me a $75 service fee, and they had to come out twice. On top of that, they replaced the toilet as well. So hey, it's times like this that it's good to have these systems in place. Kenya, thanks for that response. I bought my first rental last January. Congratulations. I'm doing a house hack in a duplex. Great. I'm ready to expand, but through this experience, I've learned that I need better systems. You're sure right, Kenya. Yeah, I mean, you can always improve your systems. I just shared with you. If I didn't have a home warranty and a sewer backup, and they always happen at nighttime when it's cold, and it would have cost me quite a lot of money, probably over $1,000. And on top of that, I would have had a very irate tenant. The job that DC Water did, digging up the line. I mean, that line, the sewer line, I saw it. I got some videos. Maybe I'll post on social media. It was at least 10, 15 feet in the ground. I mean, they had a backhoe down there. And it's very interesting what they did. But if I didn't have all those systems in place, that alone, that would have cost me a good $15,000 easily. But in the end, it cost me $75. So systems are really important. If you don't have systems and relationships, I don't know where you are, Kenya. But I'm not too sure if we've done business together. If I have, I've been more than happy to see if you can leverage some of mine. I mean, this is all part of my Wealth Builders program. I've got all this stuff in place, and it's to help people take advantage of the opportunities that exist right now, which is a slow market, to build their portfolio. And that's the whole purpose of this program, is to execute, is to make it happen, and so on. So congratulations, Kenya, on buying your first rental property, on doing a house hack. Congrats. But yes, it takes time to build systems in place, but it sounds like you're doing the right thing. So I want to commend you, and so on. So if you got some more questions, I'm gonna wrap it up in a couple of minutes. Let's have a look. Kenya again. Wow, Kenya, you're on a roll. Any advice about systems you have in place, or is that coming in the near future? Maybe I could do a session on systems. Yeah, systems are repeatable. Systems are relationships. Systems are policies. If this happens, do this. Systems can mean lots of different things. So maybe I could have a session just on that alone. I'll break it down into my systems, my policies, my organizational setup, the processes, the people, the team, the technology. That's what we used to do at IBM when I was there. We're all about, systems, and that's what my focus is. So maybe I'll share some of mine in the future live stream. Okay. Oh, okay. You're in Norfolk, Virginia, Kenya. Oh yeah, I worked down Norfolk. It's pretty nice down. It's about 4 hours from the DC area. When I was at EDS, I think it was, which is now HP. We did a project down at Northrop Grumman. That's sort of in that sort of Tidewater area. So I used to travel down there. I was there for about 3 months. Be there Monday through Friday in Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, Norfolk Grumman. I think it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, pretty nice place down there. Anyway, I digress. Hit the button. Hit the like button. Okay, so this is from Johnny. Hit the like button. So I assume that you like the question or like my answer, and so on. Let's have a look. It's now 7:52. I'm gonna wrap it up for today, unless I'm gonna get a question quickly. If you got a question now, put it in now, or forever hold your peace. You're gonna have to wait till next week. And hopefully today was a good session. Hopefully, what's it called? You learned quite a bit from this. I'm really excited about 2023. It's gonna be a great year. Looking forward to it, and hopefully your 2022 was a good year for you. And hopefully 2023 will be even better for you. There's just so many opportunities during this slowing market. It's kind of counterintuitive. It's kind of contrarian. Most people, when the market slows, they tend to slow down as well. And when the market's hot, they tend to get in. But my experience is that when the market slows, it's usually the best time to come in because there's just less competition. And sellers are usually a bit more reasonable, yeah. But when the market's hot, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry is getting in. Yesterday they were a hairdresser or I don't know, Uber driver. Now today they're a real estate investor, and you get into bidding wars and you get into best and final, all that stuff. So that's why I don't particularly like hot markets. It's just too much. It's just too much competition. But if you are into buy and hold like I am, it's okay. You can just buy during the soft times and hold out and ride out the storm until the market gets better. Okay, let's have a look. Thanks for helping us newbies. No problem, Kenya. Hopefully, I get an opportunity and a chance to meet with you, and so on. So with that said and done, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up for today. And again, we're going to go to part 2 next week on Wealth Wednesday on goals. And I'll share with you some of my goals for 2023. If I don't speak to you before then, enjoy yourself on New Year's Day. I hope you had a good Christmas. I had a great Christmas. And Santa Claus was good. And, I don't have a tree, but, a chimney, but what's it called? It was good. And we had fun and so on. So with that said, my friends, I will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Take care. Bye for now.